Malik kissed, and I'm a mess. Hello everybody, it's Katie here. I'm emotionally unstable because Malik happened. I don't even know where to start with this video. Advance warning that this video is going to be a complete and utter mess. So the Malik episode finally aired. As you know, I have been waiting for this episode for so long. The fact that we even have an episode titled Malik. How many of the shows do you watch that literally titles an episode after your OTP? Episode 12 was my favourite episode of this show so far. Even without that kiss, this episode would have been my favourite because it was just so amazing. I adored every single scene. There were conversations had that needed to be had. There was so much character development. Everything just worked so well in this episode. I'm telling you now, I have never been so stressed out to see an episode of a show in my life. And I watch a lot of TV shows. I am passionate about a lot of TV shows. But this episode ruined me before it even aired. The past week has been crazy. Obviously, last week we got that promo where it looked like the aftermath of a kiss, but we didn't know, and everyone was theorising. Everybody thought it was going to be a hallucination. Remember that theory. And so after we'd analysed the shit out of that, the cast went to WonderCon. And whilst they were at WonderCon, they showed a clip of the wedding, and obviously we didn't see it straight away because they were just showing it to people that were at the panel. But then the reports from the people started coming in that the clip was of Magnus interrupting the wedding. I was so stressed out until I finally got to see that clip. And then we got to see the clip and all hell broke loose again. Theories flying everywhere. So then we analysed the shit out of that. And then I thought, okay, that's enough now. I'm ready for the episode. Just let us get to the episode. And then I think it was the day before the episode aired, they went and put the whole Magnus talking about love scene online. I was done by this point. I was like, no more, please do not give me anything else. The hype for this episode was unreal because of everything they'd released leading up to it. I was so stressed. I was stressed. So then after all that build up and anticipation, we finally got to the episode. I guess I should start at the beginning. I took my notes on the second viewing of the episode because I was in too much emotional distress the first time I watched it. I could barely keep myself together, let alone compose myself enough to write words. So, episode 12, Malik. We have a scene between Clary and Luke talking over unconscious floating Jocelyn. And Luke's admitting that he was maybe wrong in not telling Clary everything from the start. And then Alec shows up looking for Lydia. Luke leaves and we get this scene between Clary and Alec. Finally, we have a really nice conversation between them. I have so much love for this scene. To see them in the show finally have this nice conversation where they're thanking each other. It was so cute. So then Alec gets a message from Magnus to come and see him. And then we get this scene where Alec goes to talk to Magnus. This scene. Ugh! My love for this scene is unreal. Magnus appears extravagantly with a wine glass and he magics a wine glass into Alec's hand as well. And he goes to chink glasses with him and Alec just moves away. I have seen this gif so many times on Tumblr since the episode. The sass is real. So then Magnus brings up the wedding again and you have this entire conversation between them that was absolutely brilliant. I love what Magnus says about where's the honour in living a lie. Alec in this scene completely broke my heart when he's stuttering and he says he's confused. Oh my god, Alec. Oh my god. So then you have Magnus describing love. And we'd seen bits of this in the promos and they released the clip beforehand. I still wasn't prepared for it. That scene will get me every time. When he blows the little blue magic at the back of Alec's neck, Alec has to turn around, close his eyes and compose himself. Same, Alec, same. I don't know how you got your shit together in that scene because I wouldn't have. But then obviously he turns around and shoots down Magnus. And then when he's basically talking about how impossible that they would be together and he says, give up my life for you. Just you wait, Alec, you don't even know what you're in for in the future. You literally do change your life for that man. Once again, Harry and Matthew are just so on point in this scene. So then we have this scene between Jace, Clary and Magnus as they're looking for warlocks. We have some awkward Clary and Jace interaction there. Magnus was glorious in this scene when you just know that he doesn't want to be there for fear of bumping into Alec. When he mentions cocktails and Clary's like, it's 9 AM. It's happy hour somewhere, my dear. The love I have for Magnus is unreal. I just love him so much. So then Hodge shows up and puts these 3 warlocks on screen. Tessa, Ragnar and Katarina. Nice little reference there. Magnus, when he sees Ragnar on screen, is one of the 3 warlocks that are more powerful than him. He's so bitter, like, he's not more powerful than me. So then Alec and Lydia show up and you just have this really salty Malik scene and also tension between Jace and Alec. And Jace is like, just looking for a warlock, we don't need you. And Magnus is like, you need to go meet the people from the Clave because you don't want to tarnish your family's reputation. Poor Alec, he takes all the shit in that scene. I felt so sorry for Lydia, like, nice to see you again, Magnus, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. She's too precious. So then we also have a really quick scene between Clary and Jace. She's trying to get him to stop and talk about this situation. And I don't blame her because, you know, they really need to talk about this. She's telling him that, you know, they didn't know, so they shouldn't blame themselves. And I just really love that scene. And I thought Clary especially was really great there. And the thing is, I'm really enjoying the scenes between Clary and Jace now. The scenes between them now seem to be acted out really well. So then after that, we have Jace, Clary and Magnus showing up in this field where Ragnar's house is supposed to be. And once again, Magnus utterly stole this scene. He brings up the fact that they're siblings and Clary and Jace start getting quite tense with each other. Magnus just isn't making things any better. I love him so much. Everything about that scene. Even the way he walked. My favourite character coming to life on screen. When Clary and Jace are practically arguing with each other and he's like, I came here to escape my own relationship drama, not to get a front row seat to yours. Magnus is truly a gift. So then this fire springs up out of the ground and Magnus says that only the pure at heart can go through. Of course, Clary's the only one that is able to walk through. She goes to the house and finds Ragnar. I loved this scene so much because Ragnar Fell was absolutely perfect. Everything about him, oh my... It was Ragnar. It was Ragnar. It made me so happy. And finally we get some interaction between Magnus and one of his own friends. Seeing them two interact was great. I felt like it really showed that they're incorporating the Bane Chronicles into this show as well. You do get the feeling that these two have been on some wild adventures together that we don't know about yet. But of course you know some of them if you've read the Bane Chronicles. So anyway, they are looking for the Book of White. Ragnar says that he no longer has it, but he might have a way to find it. So he goes off and gets attacked by a demon. So he's introduced. We get to love him for like 5 minutes. And then he's dead. He's dead. I mean, I kind of thought that he would because this scene is basically like the one in City of Glass. I just got so attached to him immediately and then they went and killed him. I wasn't prepared for that emotional scene between Magnus and a dying Ragnar. My dear little cabbage. Why? I was so affected by a character I'd only known for a few minutes' death. It was really sad. So after that lovely piece of heartbreak, we go back to the Institute and Jace is convinced that Lydia is the mole. So they know now that somebody in the Institute is feeding Valentine information. Of course, us book readers know that it's not Lydia, but I can see why they jumped to conclusions with Lydia because she's the newest person there. So Clary goes and has a talk with Lydia to see if she can figure out if she is the mole. And I really loved this scene. Lydia's so great in this scene as well. I love when Clary is basically like, how well do you really know Alec? And Lydia straight away is like, his feelings for Magnus. Like, she knows all this stuff. She's not dumb. But I also loved Clary in this scene as well when she was like, these people are like family to me. She was really sassy in that scene. I like that. I like that, Clary. So then after that, Izzy goes to Hotel de Mort to get advice from Simon about bachelor parties. Sizzy scene, you guys. I love them so much and they haven't even had that much interaction at this point, but they are so great. It's not much, it's not a romantic scene, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting more and more Sizzy. So yeah, I really appreciated that scene. This episode is the gift that keeps on giving. After that, we cut to Magnus back in his apartment. He's looking at this old photo of him, Ragnar and Camille, and then Ragnar shows up. I was confused at first, thinking, wait, is he really not dead? But then I figured out that it was a figment of Magnus's imagination. But I was really happy because it meant we got to see some more of Ragnar. So then they're looking at this photo and talking about the past. There's references to Magnus's backstory. And this is one of the things that I really loved about this episode, is that it focused a lot on Magnus. And you know, Magnus is my favourite character, so this episode was a dream for me. So he's talking about how Camille broke his heart, and then he considers calling Alec, but then puts the phone down again. And then we cut to Alec's bachelor party scene. Izzy has him blindfolded and walking into a room. I knew pretty much straight away from there that it was going to be Jace. Time for some para-bro time moments. So Jace is there. And at first, neither of them seem happy to be put in this room together. But then finally, Jace admits that he and Alec need to talk. And when he's saying about the mistakes he's made, Alec's face, his expression throughout that was just so sassy. And then they have this really heartfelt conversation where Jace is talking about how he must be sick to have feelings for Clary. That really got to me because that's exactly what Jace is like in the books. And then you have Alec talking about how he can understand those kind of emotions, even though he's not in that situation. He does know what it's like to have somebody just enter your life out of nowhere and completely change everything. Finally, the making up and being parabatai again. This is what I like to see. I've been after this conversation for so long. The tension between these two, it's killed me. It's killed me. So to finally see them back to parabatai again was great. Then we have some more Magnus and imaginary Ragnar. And we have some more little references to the Bane Chronicles when Magnus has the instrument and Ragnar's like, no, you can't play instruments. And I was just thinking about the story in the Bane Chronicles and I'm so happy that they included that. So we're back to talking about Camille breaking Magnus's heart, and Ragnar just inspires Magnus to go and fight for his man. And it's really sad when Magnus is like, even in death you have the best advice. And Ragnar says it'd be nice if you took it more than once every 300 years. No, I love them so much. I want more scenes between Magnus and Ragnar. Can we have flashbacks next season, please? So then, we get to the wedding. The wedding. This wedding has caused us all so much stress, wondering about what the hell was going to happen. The big scene. The big scene. My stress levels at this point in the episode were through the roof. I was so nervous. I was about as nervous as Alec was. And then Simon walks in like, damn son! He looks good in Raphael's suit. Can we talk about how Raphael's just lending him suits now? Even though a few episodes ago, he was complaining about Simon ruining his jackets. The relationship has progressed a lot. So then everybody's sitting down, getting ready for this wedding. Maris has been talking about how proud she is of Alec. Alec's shitting his pants. And then the song starts playing. War of Hearts. And you know shit's about to go down. Everything looked so beautiful in this wedding. Like the colours and the setup of the room. It was so pretty. And Lydia's dress was beautiful and she looked great. Her hair, goals. Izzy looked gorgeous. Alec looks great in his tux. So yeah, everything looks great. It's not great underneath, but everything looks perfect. So then we go through this whole commencing of this union. It was such a great scene, but I was so stressed. I was stressed out watching this scene, even though I'd already seen this scene, because this is the one that they showed. It was stressful knowing that it wasn't going to cut out this time. So Lydia takes the rune with her stelae. She's just about to put it on Alec's wrist. And then in walks Magnus. So I'm going to remind you of what I've been saying in my previous videos. The two things that I mentioned I did not want was Magnus interrupting the wedding and for Malik's first kiss to be in front of everyone. Both of those things happened and it was absolutely glorious. I have to take back every word that I said because considering that's not what I thought I wanted, it was everything that I wanted and more. So Magnus walks in and Maris jumps up. What is that warlock doing here? Shut up, Maris! And Magnus is sassy. This is between me and your son. I'll leave if he asks me to. Yes! Making it clear that it's Alec's choice here. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. Alec's face during this whole scene, he's just astounded, but he like blinks several times as though he can't believe what's in front of him, and I'm just... He's so taken by Magnus. I'm emotional. I'm emotional. So then Lydia kind of snaps Alec out of it, and he looks back at her, and then he's trying to explain something, but he can't get his words out. And then he just says, I can't breathe. Neither can I, Alec. Neither can I. And then you have Lydia comforting him. Oh my god, Lydia Bramwell in this scene. I have so much love for her for this moment. When Alec is stuttering to explain that this isn't what he really wants, and she comforts him and says you deserve to be happy and I'll be fine. Oh my goodness, the emotions. She was just utterly perfect in that scene. So then Alec turns to face everyone and I was so nervous. Like I said, I didn't want this kiss to be in front of everyone, but when I saw it, I was utterly sucked in. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it in front of everyone. It's gonna go down. And the music in that moment as well. The song worked so perfectly for that scene. And you can tell that everybody involved in the show just worked that out perfectly, the way the music fits with it. I have too much love for the creators of the show at the moment. So then Alex starts walking down the steps. My heart stopped. Mayra storms towards him like, Alec, what are you doing? And he's like, enough. When he says that, yes, go Alec, go Alec. I am so proud of him for that. He just shut her down completely. I was like, finally, Alec, finally. And what we all wanted from this scene was for Alec to be in control of it, for him to be calling the shots and for him to initiate this kiss. And that's exactly what he did. He just keeps walking towards Magnus. And Magnus, he's standing there like he hasn't got a clue what's going on. The look on his face, he actually looked quite scared for a moment, like, is he gonna hit me? Also, let's just pause for a second to talk about how good Magnus looked with that pink hair. Those little pink streaks in his hair, damn, they were fine. Both of them looked so good in this scene, I can't. So then, Alec finally approaches Magnus and literally grabs him by the jacket, and then he kisses him in front of everyone. Can we just... Alec, in this scene, I have never been more proud of a character in all of my life. Yes, Alec. Yes. So insert Malik kiss fangirling here. That kiss was, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. You can't fault that kiss. And I'm sorry, but that kiss was so much better than any of the Clace kisses that we've had so far. It was just so much more passionate. And because this is built up over so many episodes, you've seen them going back and forth. The emotion was real in this kiss, and it was just so brilliantly done. Like, all the awards to Matthew Daddario and Harry Shum Jr. All the awards. Because the pressure must have been on for them. They must have known that everyone was waiting for this moment, for this kiss between them. So they must have known the expectation levels that were on them at that point. And they delivered. Oh boy, did they deliver. We are truly blessed to have those two men playing these characters. We are blessed. What did we do to deserve this scene? And also we were gifted 2 kisses within this moment as well, because they actually pull apart and then go back for more. My babies! It was so beautiful. It was so funny because after the episode I saw on Twitter, somebody had tweeted the gif and said, I don't even watch this show, but this is art. And I was like, same. The gifs of that scene, the minute they started appearing on Tumblr, reblogged them all. I just feel so sorry for my followers because they must have seen that kiss a million times by now. I have no chill when it comes to this scene because it was so perfect. It's just great because I've been waiting for this moment for so long and it didn't disappoint. I don't care that it was at the wedding. I don't care that it was in front of everyone. It was great. The reactions from everybody. When you have Izzy smiling proudly, Larry and Simon are smiling, and then you cut to Jace, whose face is just a picture. That smile, Jace. Same. And then you have Maris, Robert and Hodge. The horror on Maris's face. I'm just so proud of that scene in general. It's just so great after all these years of shipping Malik to finally see a visual on-screen kiss between them. This is what I wanted. I mean, let's be honest, after that disaster of a film adaptation, did we ever think we'd get a chance to see this kiss? No. So I'm just so grateful that we got this chance. Also, I've not seen one person complain about this kiss. So far, anyway. Fingers crossed. Like, there are people that have had lots of complaints about this show, and they can't fault this kiss. So then you have the aftermath of this kiss with Alex stepping away, like, what did I just do? And I'm like, what did you just do, Alec? You've killed me, that's what you've done. So then we get to see Izzy being really proud of Alec, and she says that she's proud, and you get Alec's little smile when she says this. He's so happy. And we need to talk about this actually, because We don't really get to see Alex smile that much throughout this show. So after this scene, all he does is smile, and it's so amazing because I've never seen him this happy, and it's just adorable. So then Simon comes over and is a literal representation of the Malik fans. Simon in this scene, he is all of us when he compares it to The Graduate. What gets me as well is Magnus and Alex's faces while he's talking. Their reaction is just so on point. Who invited the vampire? So on point. I love all four of them. They are my faves. Everything was so beautiful in this episode. Then we have a little conversation between Jace and Lydia, which I really liked. And when she says, give Magnus and Alec my best, she's amazing. So then after she leaves, Clary approaches Jace and they end up talking about how they can't ignore what's been happening. And then Magnus approaches them and says that he needed to talk to them and that's actually why he showed up as well. And so he takes them and Alec to look at Ragnar's belongings. Clary recognises the bookmark from the alternative universe and Magnus uses it to track where the book is and he discovers that it's with Camille under Hotel de Mort. So I think it's fairly obvious that we're going to see Camille again next episode, I'm assuming. Drama. Are we finally going to have Magnus and Camille interact? I don't know if I want to see this. She broke his heart. This is going to be awkward. I'm really hoping that we don't get some of those scenes from City of Lost Souls. I mean, the City of Fallen Angel scenes. Jealous Alec is quite entertaining. If we start moving into City of Lost Souls territory, if we start moving towards page 511, I'm out. No. That's my worry. That's my worry. I mean, Malik is all happy and smiley now, but is it going to stay that way? No. So I can't help thinking there's going to be some angst with Camille in the future. Then we cut to Lydia retrieving the cup from her room as she's about to leave. And then, Hodge, you little shit. Somebody knocks her over and takes the cup from her, and we know it's Hodge, we know. I'm so worried because we don't actually know the fate of Lydia. The last we saw is her having the cup taken from her. What did he do to her? Please say she's okay, because after how incredible she's been in this episode, she does not deserve to be hurt. Then we have another Clace scene where Clary gives the JC box to Jace, and I adored this scene because Jace talks about how part of him wanted to go off with Valentine through the portal. And we know from the books that he does feel that a lot, and that he questions whether he's a good person or not. And so to see him saying that in the show, I just loved it. I just feel like Dom is really stepping it up as Jace. These past few episodes, I've been really adoring Jace's scenes. And then after that, we get another little Malik scene. They're so smiley. Both of them are happy. They're happy. Magnus calls him Alexander, not Alec. It's back to Alexander. My little hearts. Then Mayrus has to walk in and cause some shit, talking about how Alex humiliated them all. She was so awful in this scene. But I was so proud of Alec for standing up for himself, saying, this is who I am, this is who I've always been, now it's all out in the open. And then when Mayrus says all this for a downworlder, don't you dare! How dare she? Poor little Magnus. So then she leaves, and we actually get a really heartwarming scene between Robert and Alec. Like I mentioned before, I actually really like Robert in the show, and I hated him with a passion in the books because he's not a nice person in the books. In this scene, he was so lovely. Like, he didn't really understand what was going on between Alec and Magnus, but he accepted it. And he reassured Alec, and that's what Alec needed, you know, at least he's got one of his parents telling him that it's okay. So yeah, thank you, Robert. I love it when he asks if they're in love. And they're both like, no, this is all very new. This is what I like, because as I've been saying in the past few videos, they're not in love yet because they don't know each other that well yet. So I like that was said. And then when Robert leaves, we start talking about first dates. Magnus reminds Alec that they haven't had their first date yet. Are they setting up for that first date that's in the Bane Chronicles? Because if they are you trying to kill me? If we get something that's even slightly similar to that scene in the next season, I will lose my shit. I won't be able to cope because that whole short story is a gift, and if you haven't read it then you need to. Course of True Love and First Dates. If we get something like that, I'm gonna be a mess. More of a mess than I am now. I'll be sobbing, I'll be on the floor. You won't even be able to pick me up off the floor. I'll be done. So yeah, they're setting up for a first date at some point anyway. I love how Alec was asking Magnus this time, trying to go for a drink sometime, and Magnus is like, I'd love that. They both look so happy. I know, I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Alec smiling. We get to see him so smiley, and it's just such a change, and it warms my little heart. Smiling Alec. Happy Magnus. This episode was so special. After that, we have Luke talking to Jocelyn. He loves her so much. I can't wait until Jocelyn wakes up and Luke can be reunited with his love. And then Hodge walks in. Hodge, that little shit. Luke, obviously, he trusts Hodge, so he leaves him alone with Jocelyn. And Hodge puts the ring on. This hologram of Valentine appears. He says he's got the cup. Promise is a promise. So Valentine's going to undo Hodge's punishment. I'm so emotionally torn though, because Hodge is really attractive. I wish he wasn't attractive. I really wish he wasn't, because it makes it very difficult to hate him. But I do hate him, but he's still attractive. But I really love that ending scene. That was the cliffhanger scene to lead us off into the season finale. The season finale! Can you believe it's next week? 1 episode left. Gone so quickly. So yeah, we got a promo for episode 13, the final episode. Looks like everything's going down. I'm excited to see where this season finale goes, because in episode 11 we had the scene with Valentine disappearing through the portal after that sibling reveal. That's how City of Bones ended. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do in this episode, because I really don't know. So that was episode 12, also known as My Death. I feel so much lighter now that I've seen the episode and I've seen how it played out. Because after all those theories, I had so much paranoia and I was convinced that somehow it would go terribly, terribly wrong. And it didn't. It was just beautiful. I'm so happy. So yeah, like I said, that was the thing that I was looking forward to seeing the most. I mean, I have really, really enjoyed the show so far, but I wanted them to get that episode right. With the episode being titled Malik, I needed them to get it right because those two characters are the characters I care the most about. So I was desperate for the show to get it right, and it did. Like, I know it's different from the books, but they're still including little details. So I don't really care that the events aren't going down the way they did in the books, because it'd be boring if it did. Looking back, I know I was so worried about this whole marriage storyline, and I had been since it was a rumour. But now I am so very happy that they decided to go with that storyline, to give Alec this bigger storyline and to show how conflicted he is, and for this to introduce us to Lydia. I mean, we've gained a great character from this as well, if she's still alive. And in the first Mortal Instruments books, we don't really get to see that much of the relationship between Alec and Magnus. You know what's going on, but you don't really get scenes that follow them because it focuses more on Jason Clary. So I think the show has done really well to bring in the storyline. It was something completely different from the books, but it just worked so well. They gave us something that we weren't expecting. Even as fans of the books, we had no idea what was going to happen in this episode. And we don't have any idea what's going to happen in the next episode either. So I'm so excited and I'm so happy with the show. I'm so happy. So anyway, I should probably stop talking now because I have no idea how long this video is going to go on for. I always knew that this video was going to be a complete mess to film because I'm a bag of emotions. So I'm going to stop myself. I mean, I could talk about this episode all day. I literally could, but I need to stop. As always, please let me know all of your thoughts on this glorious episode in the comments. What was your favourite moment? You know what my favourite moment was. I had so many favourite moments in this episode though, but you know, there's one that's just a little bit more perfect than the others. I'm never going to be over that kiss, you guys. Never going to be over it. How emotional were you watching this episode? Did you stop breathing whilst that wedding was going on? Please let me know all the things. Next time I see you guys will be next week, after the finale episode. The fact that we have to go on hiatus after this, that we're not going to see the show for another year. I've grown so attached to having this in my life, to seeing my fave characters on screen every week. I don't know how to go back to life, normal life, after this. It's gonna be a long year, a very long year. But anyway, that is all I have time for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye! You want to see another picture of that Malik kiss? Of course you do. You're welcome.